What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another Pitching Ninja's Filthiest Pitches of the Day. Remember, before we get to those pitches, hit that subscribe button. Join Ninja Nation. You'll never regret it. And without further ado, here are my filthiest pitches of the day. I'm going to start with the awesomely named Jansen Junk, who had 8 strikeouts and 5 scoreless innings, giving up only 4 hits. With a name like Jansen Junk, you have to be featured on Pitching Ninja. He outdueled Brad Keller, who had this nasty 88-mile-an-hour slider. Andrew Heaney had 4 strikeouts in 4 innings, giving up only 1 hit. Christian Javier had 6 strikeouts in 5 innings and was outdueled by Cole Irvin. Irvin did have this 94-mile-an-hour elevated fastball, but his stuff is really hard to highlight. It doesn't jump off the page at you, but his ERA kind of does. He has a 3.05 ERA this year. Logan Webb had 5 strikeouts in 6 1/3 innings, but did give up 4 runs. He was up against Zach Gallen, who pitched well and had 5 strikeouts in 5 innings thanks to his curveball and changeup. And he had this elevated fastball. You might wonder why you'd swing at an elevated fastball from Zach Gallen. Well, here's an overlay of that fastball and his knuckle curve. By the time you figure out the difference, you've already swung. Kyle Gibson had these filthy curveballs on his way to 4 strikeouts in 6 innings. His opponent, Charlie Morton, also had wicked curveballs. Check out these of 3,235 RPMs and 3,182 RPMs. And here's an overlay of Morton's 96-mile-an-hour fastball and 82-mile-an-hour curveball. Morton started the game with 4 scoreless innings, and it looked like a brilliant outing, but then gave up 5 runs in the 5th. John Gray had this 6 slider and fastball, and had 8 strikeouts in 6 1/3 innings, but was outdueled by Marco Gonzalez, who had these nasty changeups. Braxton Garrett had 8 strikeouts in 5 innings thanks to these wicked sliders. He also threw in an elevated fastball. He did give up 5 runs, but I like the way he bounced back in this game. He gave up 4 runs in the first and battled. His opponent, Luis Castillo, showed flashes of brilliance with his fastball and filthy changeups. He had 8 strikeouts in 7 innings, and I love this final changeup he threw, almost taking a bow after this last one, because that may be his final pitch in a Reds uniform. An end of an era. Castillo is an ace and will instantly improve any staff that he's on, so hope that your team gets him. Also importantly, I picked the same game parlay with Braxton Garrett and Luis Castillo. You might remember that yesterday, and that paid off handsomely. Adam Wainwright had these beautiful curveballs on his way to 8 strikeouts in 7 innings. He was up against Kevin Gausman, who had these wicked splitters, but did give up 5 runs in 4 2/3 innings. Corbin Burnes was his dominant self yesterday, even when he didn't necessarily have his best outing. And that's the mark of a true ace. He did have 11 strikeouts in 6 innings, but gave up 3 runs. He of course had his vicious cutters, but also had these mean curveballs. And check out this 99-mile-an-hour fastball to Arise and his reaction. That's hilarious. Arise almost did a full Juan Soto, and then he gets hit with this slider and just kneels in the box like, I must bend the knee before King Corbin. Mad Max was pitching on his birthday, and check out his intensity before the game. He had 6 strikeouts and 7 scoreless innings, becoming the 2nd oldest pitcher to have a scoreless start on his birthday, according to Sarah Langs, at 38 years old. He also has the most Ks in history on his birthday, 2 more than Randy Johnson had in his career. Max had these wicked sliders and cutters, and even had himself a White Castle special, and had a sick changeup. Here's an overlay of Max's 97-mile-an-hour fastball and slider to Judge. Look at how far those pitches end up apart. Another all-around great outing by Scherzer, who lowered his ERA this year to 2.09. In the Tigers-Padres game, Tarek Skubal had these overpowering fastballs, but he was outdueled by Yu Darvish, who is my filthiest pitcher of the day. He had 11 strikeouts in 7 innings, thanks to these wicked sliders, dirty splitters, and painted fastballs. You might ask why Scope would swing at a slider way off the plate. Well, look at this overlay of a Darvish two-seamer with that slider. They both start off the plate, the two-seamer runs back to the plate, and that slider disappears. Now onto my filthiest relievers. AJ Puck had this nasty slider. Felix Bautista continued to shove. His stuff is so good. Ryan Helsley had his vicious slider and overpowering fastball. Emmanuel Clase had these flaming cutters. This is only the second game ever where any pitcher has had 5 whiffs in the 9th inning on 98-mile-an-hour cutters or more, according to Codified Baseball. The other game? That was Emmanuel Clase too. But my filthiest pitch of the night was this ridiculous curveball by Seth Lugo to Josh Donaldson. This curveball was 3,287 RPMs and had Donaldson fearing for his life. Yes, the bringer of rain turned into the bender of knees. And if you were wondering whether this pitch was a strike or not, you can see from the 3D pitch tracker, it was. I'm sure you'll be seeing this pitch again when I do my filthiest curveballs of the year. And now, my Pitching Ninja moment of Zen, or PFP hell. This is not how we teach it in spring training.
That's a high throw and it gets away. Marsh scores, and Velasquez going all the way to third to throw, not in time.
What is up, Ninja Nation? My picks of the day today are for Brady Singer to have 6 Ks or more, and for Zach Wheeler to have 8 strikeouts or more. Singer's coming off a career-high 12K game, so I think 6 Ks are doable today, and I expect Zach Wheeler to have a big day against Pittsburgh. What would your picks of the day be?